everybody, welcome to this abbreviated version of Sportsnet Connected. I am Greg Ross, and some huge news coming out of the baseball world today.
We started with a warm-up in the bullpen with Allen pitching to the only catcher we could find, yours truly. This reporter getting a first-hand look at the 4 pitches that were part of Allen's arsenal back in college.
I threw fastball, slider, changeup, and curveball.
Wait, I'm holding 2 20s in this hand and a $100 bill in this hand. Which one would you rather have?
Look, I'm not an idiot. I obviously know more is better. In that case, 2 is more than 1, and I'm going to take the 2 20s. What a sucker.
He's excited to be back into the lineup. He played 5 games down in the minors. And one quick note, it is 80s night here at the Wachovia Center. They're actually playing Pong up on the Jumbotron here behind me, so we're going to have the watch on tonight for the mullets, the high tops, and the tight jeans. Darren?
Well, you should fit in very well down there, Greg.
Was it tough coming into this season knowing how bad this team was going to suck this year?
You know, I don't know if I'd put it that way.
For the first time in 22 years, the men's final at Wimbledon featured the #1 seed versus the #2 seed. Now, isn't that the way it's supposed to be? Top-seeded Roger Federer of Switzerland taking on second-seeded Andy Roddick. Still in the second. Federer about to serve in Roddick. And what's going on? Somebody light a match! What was that all about?
I've never seen that before in a final.
Be a little bit more discreet about it, at least.
Woo!
So how is the team coping with the loss of your only 2 stars?
Well, we're still a good team. I'm sorry, I'm just laughing at the way you said you still think you have a good team. Oh, man, that was good. You were kidding, right? No, I'm not.
Dublowitz has a painting of Yoda on the back of his mask. His teammates say that there are some similarities between him and Yoda, and there's no question the Islanders goaltender will need the Force to be with him tonight.
Mornings can be difficult too. Ponikarovsky learned early on never to let Antropov get into the bathroom first.
Are you going to be done anytime soon? It's all yours, bud. Oh, what died in here?
Going to be your bat boy for today?
Is that right?
So where do you want me to sit?
Usually they sit right down in over there.
They said, you wait from you, is that what you're saying? There I go. It certainly ranks as one of the most interesting finishes in the history of the U.S. Open. Jeff Ogilvy watching from the clubhouse as the perennial favorite Phil Mickelson has a meltdown reminiscent of Jean Van de Velde in the 1999 British Open. Ogilvy was lurking in the weeds for the entire round, finishing with a tough 5-foot putt on 18 for par. And in the end, that was enough to give him his first career victory at a major.
If you just asked me anything right now, I could probably give you the right answer.
All right, what's the square root of 73?
Square root of 73. Well, you know, math isn't really my strong point.
But despite Belak's shortcomings in math, he has no problems crunching the numbers he believes he can put up if given a chance to play on the top line.
I figure if I play on the top line, I'll get like, I don't know, 30 goals, 40 assists. That's about 100 points, I figure.
And that will do it for this abbreviated version of Sportsnet Connected. Hey, you like baseball? Stick around. We got the big preview show coming up, and then, of course, Game 3 of the NLCS.
Been a staple in the CFL for the past 23 seasons, accomplishing just about everything one could hope to in a career. But believe it or not, football was not necessarily Damon Allen's first love.
I always believe that we're growing up, we're a baseball family and not necessarily a football family. You know, from my father to all my brothers, we all played baseball.
A shocking statement considering the Allen family produced 2 superstar football players in Damon and his Hall of Fame brother Marcus. But not so shocking to those who knew Damon back in his college days.
God didn't create us all equal. You look at a 6-foot, 180-pound an athlete that could do so much. He could play baseball, he could play football.
Allen was a 2-sport star while attending Cal State Fullerton in the early 80s, leading his football team to 2 division titles and helping the baseball team win the national championship in 1984.
He was a skinny little 160-pounder throwing the ball in 1984 at 92 and 93 miles an hour as a middle relief pitcher for Cal State Fullerton.
You know, I love football and I enjoyed baseball, and I wanted the opportunity to be drafted in 2 sports, and I was able to do that.
Allen was selected by the Detroit Tigers in the '84 Major League Draft, but chose to sign with the Edmonton Eskimos in the CFL instead of pursuing baseball. 23 years later, Allen agreed to join us on the diamond one more time.
I'm trying to think of the last time I threw off a mound. It might have been like 2-3 years ago.
We started with a warm-up in the bullpen with Allen pitching to the only catcher we could find. Yours truly. This reporter getting a first-hand look at the 4 pitches that were part of Allen's arsenal back in college.
I threw fastball, slider, changeup, and curveball. You know, me pitching on the mound again, you guys gonna get me interested in playing baseball again.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time Damon has gotten the itch. Back in 1994, he actually signed a contract with the Pittsburgh Pirates and spent a few months pitching in their minor league system before eventually heading back to the CFL.
Even though I was playing in the Canadian Football League, I always wanted, you know, that feeling and what it felt like to go to a training camp. That was the time that really closed the chapter and gave me somewhat of an idea that if I would win baseball, I think I would have made it.
First batter he faced and struck out in the instructional league that summer was Michael Jordan.
But Jordan was far from the best hitter Allen has faced. In fact, his fondest memory came at an exhibition game back in college.
When I was at Fullerton, I had the opportunity to pitch against the Angels, and I faced Rockaroo, and I grounded him out.
We decided to give Allen another chance to face a major leaguer, fellow Cal State grad Reed Johnson of the Blue Jays.
Alumni, how you doing? Doing good. Nice seeing you.
The pride of the OC.
That's right. Hey, it's nice to be back on the baseball field, too.
Heck yeah.
Let's go have some fun.
Let's do it.
First, they played a little catch.
I'm going to trade the football in for baseball right now. I'm out here playing catch with Reed Johnson, Cal State Fullerton alumni.
And then it was time for a little batting practice.
How you like him? Wheelhouse?
The whole experience brought out a different side of Allen.
You know, I'm 44 years old, and I mean, it gave me that little sparkle, that twinkle in your eye that once you step on the field, you felt like a little kid again. I gave him a home run to Reed Johnson, baby.
He's got that perfect 4-seam rotation on it, just like he should, and you know, it makes for a good batting practice, that's for sure.
It seems Johnson was not the only one impressed by Damon's ability.
Did you play baseball in high school?
I played in high school. I went to Cal State Fullerton.
Did you play at Fullerton?
I played at Fullerton, yeah.
This chance meeting with Blue Jays general manager J.P. Ricciardi had me wondering if Damon would consider taking another crack at baseball.
Hey, if J.P. gives me a call, hey, I'll come to spring training next year.
But that's another story. For Sportsnet Connected, I'm Greg Ross. It wasn't a long parade, just down the street in front of the Aaron Meadows retirement home in Mississauga. But it was a few minutes of glory that former Maple Leaf Hank Goldup waited 63 years for. And it was made extra special by the fact he was able to share it with his 16-year-old grandson.
That was amazing. It's one of the best feelings I've ever had. Just hoisting it up and just holding it. I got to share a moment with my grandfather.
Back in 1942, when Goldup won the Stanley Cup with the Leafs, there were no parades, and players certainly didn't get a chance to spend an entire day with the Cup like they do now.
I mean, those guys back then didn't get 5 minutes with it, and so this is nice for them to, bring it. We're bringing it here to his home, and he's able to share it with his family and friends.
Goldup, now 86 years old, also took the opportunity to do a couple of other things players didn't get to do back in 1942, like hoist the cup over his head, and of course, drink from the cup.
It was a wonderful day for Dad, and he's been looking forward to it so long that I can't even express how he feels.
After suffering a stroke 3.5 years ago, Goldup has difficulty speaking, but the smile that didn't seem to leave his face the entire day said it all. And it's all thanks to a long-awaited visit from the trophy that bears his name.
Stanley Cup. There you go.
Hank Goldup may have had to wait 63 years for his day with the Stanley Cup, but as the old saying goes, it's better late than never. And besides, how many players actually get a chance to share their day with the Cup with their kids, their grandkids, and their great-grandkids? Greg Ross, Sportsnet, Mississauga.